Week 4 of the NFL on CBS. We welcome you to Jacksonville, Florida, where today the Jacksonville Jaguars play host to the Indianapolis Colts live from Everbank Field. Standings in the AFC South right now. Indianapolis lost its divisional opener against Houston. Colts are 2-1. Jacksonville enters action at 1-2. And we welcome you to the broadcast booth. Ian Eagle along with the Hall of Famer Dan Fouts. Great to be with you. Yes, they're division rivals, but Indianapolis has dominated this series against Jacksonville, 14-4 all time. Peyton Manning's been at the helm of 13 of those victories. I know this is a scary thought, Dan. Is it possible that Manning's actually getting better at this stage of his career?
Oh, I think it's very possible. Yeah, we've always heard about his tireless work ethic, his preparation, his motivation. He's off to the best three-game start of his career, and I wonder if he's motivated by that loss in the Super Bowl to the New Orleans Saints. And then you got to wonder about these numbers. Can he keep this up throughout the rest of the season? And will it be enough for a return trip to the Super Bowl and maybe an unprecedented 5th MVP award?
Indianapolis meets a Jacksonville team that's dealing with a lot of questions right now, coming off back-to-back 25-point losses the last 2 weeks. Jaguars, they've got coaches and players currently on the hot seat.
Well, no one more on the hot seat than the two men in charge. That's head coach Jack Del Rio and his quarterback David Garrard. You mentioned those two 25-point losses. Well, one of them last week to Philadelphia is the worst home loss in Jaguar history. That has got to change today against their AFC South rival Colts.
And the weather here in Jacksonville, beautiful day, 81 degrees, sunny skies for the rest of the afternoon. Just a gorgeous afternoon for football here in Northeast Florida. Jim Caldwell, the 55-year-old head coach of the Indianapolis Colts, his 9th year with the organization, 14-2 in his first year as a head man in the National Football League. And this offense is rolling right now. A 27-13 win over Denver last week. Jaguars lost to Philadelphia 28-3. Indianapolis will receive the kickoff from Josh Scobie. Devin Moore is the deep man. We're underway from Jacksonville. Moore lost the football for a moment, able to recover, but didn't have the room to work with. Breaks a tackle. And Devin Moore staying on his feet. He's forced out of bounds. Out near the 40-yard line, he turned nothing into something on a 35-yard return on special teams. Peyton Manning, 51,141 passing yards in his career. That's 4th all time, Dan.
And he's revolutionized the way the position is played. How he contributes to the game plan each week, his willingness to take ideas from other teams. He's never fazed by playing on the road, and his use of the no-huddle offense is perfect.
But he is dealing with injuries at the wide receiver position. We'll have more on that in a moment. On first down, handoff for Joseph Adai. He's got a running lane, spin move out across the 45, and he picks up 5 yards, hit by Darrell Smith. Offensive line, Jamie Richard is out at left guard, so Kyle Devan gets the start along that offensive line. Backs and receivers, no Anthony Gonzalez, no Pierre Garçon. Austin Collie is leading the NFL in receptions and receiving yards. Once again gets the start. Dallas Clark sets up in the slot. Manning looking to throw. And he fires to Reggie Wayne. Wayne is twirled down as he crossed midfield. Very close to a first down. Anthony Smith will be given credit for the stop. Defensively for Jacksonville, they're finally getting some push from that defensive line, which wasn't the case last year. They only had 14 sacks last season, last in the NFL. Linebackers, Russell Allen is in for the injured Justin Durant, who's out once again. In the secondary, changes there with David Jones getting the start. Gerald Alexander was re-signed, and he gets the start at safety for the injured Sean Considine. Blair White is in as a third receiver. Manning checking off the line of scrimmage. They got the first down, play action, sets it up for Dallas Clark. And Clark with a nice cut upfield. Another first down for Indy. It's a 12-yard pickup. Clark had a tough time getting involved in the offense last week because of double team throughout the day against Denver.
And a good fake here by Clark because he's going to fake a pass block as Campman drops back into the secondary. And then look at the running ability of Clark getting behind his blockers there. Good block thrown out in front by Charlie Johnson.
Campman and Clark, college teammates at the University of Iowa. where Dallas Clark actually came in as a walk-on linebacker. Later, he got moved to tight end. It was the right move. Joseph Adai getting the call on the outside, and nothing there for Adai as he's forced toward the sideline for a loss of 1. Right now, time for this week's edition of the Fouts Focus, and we're going to look at the quarterback position for Indy.
And when it's all said and done, Peyton Manning may go down as the greatest to ever play quarterback in the National Football League. Of his 375 touchdown passes, he spread them around to 33 different receivers, the most going to Marvin Harrison. And he's tossed passes across the nation. 33 different venues have witnessed the precision passing of Peyton.
And movement flags come down. Johnson matched up with Aaron Campman. Ron Winter is the referee today.
Neutral zone infraction. Neutral zone infraction, defense number 74. Moved into the neutral zone, causing the offense to false start. 5-yard penalty, second down.
And it is the two-time Pro Bowler Aaron Campman who sensed that this team desperately needed some leadership this week. He addressed the team in the weight room on Monday, talking about playing the game in your head and visualizing a victory throughout the week, something that he just didn't believe was happening in the last couple of weeks for the Jaguars.
And something that Jack Del Rio desperately needs from his veteran.
2nd and 6 for the Colts in a 4-receiver set. Manning started out shotgun formation, will now back off again. On 2nd down, Manning protection holds up, and the connection is made with Joseph Adai. Ridden down by Kirk Morrison, the former Oakland Raider, and that's an 8-yard pickup and a new set of downs for Indianapolis to work with.
Very methodical drive led by Peyton Manning. And going back to that encroachment offsides by Campman, that was really heads up by Charlie Johnson. He saw Campman move, he moved, and he knew that he would get the call for being drawn offside by Campman.
And Johnson sat out last week's game with a sprained right foot, so he's back in there at left tackle. Jeff Linkenbach, a rookie out of Cincinnati, had stepped in for him. Dallas Clark, the motion man. Delayed pitch. It's a die. And Jacksonville able to converge with Gerald Alexander, the safety, leading the way. 2.5-yard gain for the Houston native, Joseph Adai. And clearly a team player. We sat down with him yesterday, and he didn't want to talk about stats. He didn't want to talk about what his role is in the offense other than whatever he can do to help the team in the big picture.
And that's really echoed by everybody on this team, especially the skilled players.
2nd and 8. Give him a gain of 2 on the play. Manning short drop and a quick pop over the middle. It's Brody Eldridge, rookie out of Oklahoma, something that Indianapolis continues to do, Dan, every year. They find first-year players that fit their system and fit their culture. It's a 10-yard gain.
There he is on the weak side of this offensive formation, and nobody is covering him. You talked about how Dallas Clark was kind of mugged last week in Denver. They've been moving him around, and now if they get Eldridge involved, that will take more focus off of Clark.
Another first down for Indianapolis. The give is to Adai, and Adai is hit hard. Alexander and Morrison combined to bring him down as he picks up 1.5 yards, 2 yards on the play.
And remember, Alexander taking the place of Sean Considine, who's out with a hamstring problem. Alexander just re-signed to the ball club this week.
Alexander, formerly with Detroit. He was acquired in a trade for Dennis Northcutt originally. 9th play of the drive. They have not faced a third down yet. From the gun, Manning throws. It's complete. Adai getting a lot of action on this first possession. Tried a little shake and bake move. He picks up 6 yards as they inch closer to a first down. Alexander with another tackle involved there along with Morrison.
Manning getting everybody involved. That's 4 different receivers. Now Adai with 2 catches. Clark and Eldridge and Wayne all have 1. So a real nightmare trying to defense Manning and the Colts right now.
Manning is 5 of 5 on the drive. They've used up more than 5.5 minutes off the clock to open things up here in Jacksonville. On a 3rd and 2 for the Colts. Shotgun for Manning. Looks, throws, it's complete to Dallas Clark. And he's got a first down, 1st and goal for Indianapolis. William Middleton with a stop for Jacksonville. So as David Garrard waits to get a chance to go against this Indy defense, Peyton Manning is doing whatever he wants.
Well, the perfect pass, too. Right out in front, leads the receiver, Clark, away from the defense. He stretched out and got the first down.
Eric Foster has checked in as a fullback. Handoff, a dive, slicing his way towards the goal line. He's in. Touchdown, Indianapolis. What an impressive way to start this one off. The Colts put 6 on the board, opening drive of the day, and an extra point away from a 7-0 lead.
Yeah, near perfect drive for the Colts. I'm not sure how they could do anything better. 11 plays, 59 yards, and remember, it all started with an outstanding kickoff return by Devin Moore.
So the first-year pro from Wyoming, Devin Moore, helped get things started on that kickoff return, and now Adam Vinatieri trying to finish things off after the touchdown run by Adai. The veteran Vinatieri knocks it through. 7-0 Indianapolis. Impressive start for the Colts, leading Jacksonville. Joseph Adai, 2-yard touchdown run, first of the season. 11 plays, 59 yards. It took 6 minutes and 23 seconds for Indianapolis. 25th consecutive red zone score. That's the longest active streak in the NFL, and yet another indication of just how efficient this offense is for Indy. Pat McAfee, who leads the NFL in touchbacks with 11, will kick off for Indianapolis. Tyquan Underwood is the deep man. Underwood had a 53-yard kickoff return last week. Underwood will get an opportunity here. And there was no lane for Underwood to hit. 21-yard return. Indianapolis leading at 7-0. The many machinations of Peyton Manning already on display here in Florida.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. Burger King, who reminds you to have it your way. And by Budweiser. Great times are waiting. Grab some Buds.
7-0 Indianapolis with the early lead. 8.5 to play in the first quarter. First time that we've seen the Jacksonville offense here today, and it's a handoff for Maurice Jones-Drew. Put up big numbers against Indianapolis in his career. He picks up 4 yards there, and Gary Brackett, the man in the middle, makes the stop. David Garrard, his 66th career start in the NFL, comes in with a record of 32-33.
And Jack Del Rio told us the other day that got to get him started, get him into a rhythm by using quick 3-step drops, a couple of bootlegs, get the ball out of his hand early and quickly against this pass rush of Indy.
Keep it on the ground. And Jones-Drew driving forward. That second effort gives him enough for a first down out across the 35-yard line. That's a 9-yard gain.
Well, he's only averaging 3.8 yards per carry. This will help David Garrard and this offense. This type of effort by Maurice Jones-Drew at 5'7", 210 pounds. And he is solid all the way down. Jacksonville with a 1st and 10 now. Out of the 37-yard line. Motion man Mike Thomas.
Maurice Jones-Drew emerging through that hole, and another strong run. That one covers 9 yards for Jones-Drew, now in his 5th year in the NFL out of UCLA. Take a look at the starting offense. Eugene Monroe is going to have his hands full here today, going against Dwight Freeney, one of the best pass rushers in the NFL. Backs and receivers. Maurice Jones-Drew has 12 career 100-yard rushing games. 4 of them have come against the Indianapolis Colts. 2nd and 1. Jordan Black has checked in as a 3rd tight end, eligible receiver, offensive lineman for the Jaguars. Stick with the bread and butter. At Indianapolis ready for Maurice Jones-Drew. No gain on the play. Let's check out the Indianapolis defense. Up front, we mentioned Dwight Freeney. How about Robert Mathis, the AFC Defensive Player of the Month in September? Linebackers, Clint Session had missed the last 2 games with a hamstring injury. He's back for Indianapolis. And in the secondary, Kelvin Hayden, coming off a strong game in that win over Denver, had 10 tackles and a forced fumble from the cornerback position. 3rd and 1. 4 plays so far for Jacksonville. All have gone to Maurice Jones-Drew. Jones-Drew again. Zigzags his way for a first down. 4-yard pickup. Melvin Bullock, the safety, there to bring him down. And they'll move the chains. Jacksonville out near midfield.
And the fans yelling, Drew, Drew. He is the best player on this team. Taking a blow on the sidelines now, but this is a way to take pressure off the offense, off of David Garrard. And really, to a man, the Jaguars said that our advantage here is our size up front, and Maurice Jones-Drew carrying the ball behind it.
1st and 10. Maurice Jones-Drew getting that rest. Rashad Jennings is checked in. They'll fake the handoff. Garrard, little dump off to Kasim Osgood, and Osgood picks up 3 yards on the play. Dwight Freeney there for the tackle. Check out the new CBSSports.com shop for officially licensed NFL gear. Get 3-day shipping on every order. Go to shop.cbssports.com.
And that's part of the passing game. A little bootleg that time for Garrard after the play fake. Getting the ball out of his hand quickly, where he only has to read half the field as he did that time. Getting the ball to Osgood.
Peyton Manning made in the shade right now for Indianapolis. Not dealing with the glare of the sun, getting some help. 3 receivers set. Garrard on a toss for Thomas, makes a man miss, and Thomas downfield, big gainer. Forced out of bounds, good block by Mike Sims-Walker on the perimeter for a 21-yard hookup for Jacksonville.
Again, you saw how quickly the ball got out to Thomas. Just really a one-step drop by Garrard. He just turns his shoulders and fires. There's the block out front and the running ability of Mike Thomas. Very underrated. It was an outstanding wide receiver, punt returner at the University of Arizona, carrying those skills into a starting position now as a wide receiver for the Jags.
Set a Pac-10 record for career receptions at Arizona. 8th play of the drive now for Jacksonville with a 1st and 10 just shy of the 25. Handoff, it's Jennings. And Rashad Jennings will pick up a yard. Fili Mawala there defensively to bring him down.
Man calling the plays for this Jaguar offense, Dirk Cutter, former head coach at Arizona State University. There he was right in the middle here.
Now Jacksonville limited to just 3 points last week, and Garrard has had major problems each of the last 2 weeks. They signed 3 quarterbacks over an 8-day period, including Trent Edwards, who was waived by Buffalo.
And here's the option.
Nice fake by Garrard. David Garrard takes it all the way. Touchdown, Jacksonville. 25 yards.
And that's Dirk Cutter just taking care and taking notice of a player's abilities. Garrard, one of the better running quarterbacks in the NFL. 13 career rushing touchdowns, and probably none more important in his career than this 25-yarder here. There's the fake on Bullock. Now watch the strength and power. Hit at the 2 and gets into the end zone with ease, running over Gerard Powers.
Garrard weighs 236 pounds. He is tough to bring down. A 9-play, 76-yard drive. Scobie tacks on the extra point. Boy, did David Garrard ever need this. His confidence waning a bit. He has just tied this one up at 7-all on a 25-yard touchdown.
Longest rush of the season for the Jaguars and their first rushing touchdown. A couple of things to keep your eye on. This is the man that will be fake. That's Melvin Bullock right here. That's who the option is off. The circle on the bottom is wide receiver Mike Sims-Walker. He's blocking here, then lets his man go as Garrard goes by him and all the way to pay dirt.
Well, Dan, last week this Jacksonville offense had just 184 yards total and 1 trip inside the red zone. Their first possession here today. They tied this game at 7. 3.5 to go first quarter. Scobie kicking it off. And Devin Moore deep, moving forward, catches cleanly at the 10. And lost the football. It popped out of bounds as Moore took a shot out along the perimeter. Peyton Manning and the Colts offense back on the field when we come back to Jacksonville.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Sprint, the Now Network. And by OnStar. To learn more, visit OnStar.com.
Tied at 7, Devin Moore, the return man, took a shot on special teams, and they're still tending to him along the Indianapolis sideline. It's Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and various players wearing pink cleats and wristbands. So you'll see pink throughout the stadium here today. We'll tell you more about that story as we continue. Indianapolis with the football. Manning, play fake. The line holds up. Comebacker is broken up. Reggie Wayne in a matchup with David Jones. And that's the first incompletion of the day for Peyton Manning. The issue is particularly meaningful to Jaguars quarterback David Garrard. Garrard lost his mother Shirley to breast cancer when David was only 14 years old. On a 2nd and 10 for Indianapolis. 3:18 to play in this first quarter. Shotgun, handoff. Mike Hart is quickly met by Kirk Morrison. He sniffed it out from the very start, and it's a loss of 5 on the play.
Now that's what Jack Del Rio wants out of his defense, and he knows with number 55, Kirk Morrison, this is the effort he'll get. Intense and a tackling machine. Had over 100 tackles in each of his last 5 seasons with the Raiders.
Morrison, a former 3rd-round pick of Oakland back in 2005. He's been very durable throughout his NFL career. 3rd and long now for Indianapolis. And the crowd really getting into it here in Jacksonville. Manning steps up. Manning throwing against the grain. Incomplete. Dallas Clark, the intended receiver. Gerald Alexander over there defensively. And Indianapolis with a rare 3 and out.
Well, this is real close to being intercepted by 2 people. Right here is Gerald Alexander, who distracted Dallas Clark, and then David Jones almost comes up with the deflection right about there. Dangerous pass by Manning. Lucky it wasn't picked off.
So Pat McAfee on to punt it with Mike Thomas standing at his own 40-yard line. McAfee now in his 2nd year. Flag down on the play. Thomas lets it bounce. It does take an Indianapolis roll and will settle in at the 39-yard line. The penalty marker, as mentioned, thrown back at the 15-yard line, close to where McAfee punted it. 44-yard punt. So Ron Winter will sort things out and indicating it will be against Indianapolis.
And instead of re-kicking, they'll just add it on to the where the ball was placed dead.
Asking a face mask. Kicking team number 50. That 15-yard penalty will be administered at the end of the kick.
This is what you got to wonder about the next time the Colts go to punt. This man uncovered. McAfee could have thrown it underhand to him and picked up the first down.
Indianapolis and Jacksonville tied up at 7 apiece. 2:21 to go in this opening quarter. Jacksonville takes over. Outstanding field position. 45-yard line of Indianapolis after the penalty. Garrard on a give. Jones drew. Spin move. And then fell down. 3.5, 4-yard gain. It's a final. Denver has defeated Tennessee 26-20. So Titans fall to 2-2 overall. Houston, Indianapolis at 2-1. Jacksonville 1-2 after the back-to-back losses to San Diego and Philadelphia. Last week, by the way, the worst home loss in franchise history, losing by 25. 2nd and 7. Jacksonville been able to run the football so far. A little bit of trickery. And it's Mike Thomas breaking to the outside. Thomas crossing the 25. Melvin Bullitt is down.
And this is not good for the Colts, obviously. Bob Sanders not playing today. And now if Bullitt can't go, they're really thin at safety position. Great block in front by Greg Jones. Turns Mike Thomas loose in the secondary.
Wednesday on Survivor, Coach Jimmy Johnson used to rule the older tribe. Now it's a cutthroat struggle for leadership, and one fiery villain declares war. New Survivor, Wednesday only, CBS.
You look at the rushing numbers for Jacksonville. The Colts came in as the 28th worst team in the league, stopping the run at 141 yards per game.
Melvin Bullitt was able to walk off on his own. He's replaced by DeJuan Morgan. First down for Jacksonville. On the ground for Maurice Jones-Drew. A lot of white jerseys going to that area, limiting Jones-Drew to a 2-yard gain on the play. Now, the numbers could be skewed a bit, Dan, defending the run based on what happened week 1 as Bullitt returns. Arian Foster ran for 231 yards against the Indianapolis Colts. Houston pulled off the upset against Indy in the season opener, 34-24.
And do you think Jacksonville watched that game tape just a bit? Look at the play selection.
Maurice Jones-Drew had to be salivating at the opportunity here. 2nd and 8 now for Jacksonville. Jones-Drew makes one man miss. Jones-Drew busting it to the outside. He's got a first down. Inside the 10, he's banged down by Kelvin Hayden, and a 14-yard rip for Maurice Jones-Drew.
He's the epitome of an I formation tailback. Patience, vision, and then burst to the outside. This offensive line is pushing the defensive line, their front 7, way off the field. Look at Mercedes Lewis crash in, take out the right side.
And that'll be the final play of this first quarter, with Indianapolis and Jacksonville all tied up at 7 apiece. We'll come back to Jacksonville's second quarter action after these messages. You're watching the NFL on CBS. That's little Maurice Jones-Drew, known as Deuce. Big Maurice Jones-Drew's son, watching from the stands. First and goal. His dad's playing very well. Handoff to Jones-Drew, and driving forward to the 5-yard line. Ian Eagle, Dan Fouts, rest of our CBS crew. Start of the second quarter here in Jacksonville. Jaguars and Colts tied at 7. Maurice Jones-Drew, big fantasy football league guy, plays in leagues, and told us the other day that he will not start somebody on his fantasy league team that he might be going against on a given week.
No, but he'll tell him that next time they see him that he's got to play better. Because you're killing me. I'm the general manager, the owner, everything on my fantasy team.
2nd and goal. Slithering. Just short. Clint Session saves the touchdown. It's a 4-yard gain for Jones-Drew.
Just short of the goal line, but real long on effort. The spin move at the end almost gets Jones-Drew into the end zone. Behind the fullback, Greg Jones, watch this effort as Sessions comes over. Good call. He is down. The ball does not break the plane.
And a double tight end set. Now 3 tight ends in the game as Jordan Black has checked in. Jumbo formation. 3rd and goal. Jacksonville trying to take the lead. Handoff. Maurice Jones-Drew. He's in. Touchdown, Jacksonville.
His helmet came off, but he had broke the plane before. If a helmet comes off, the play is whistled down at that point. Ron Winters is going to discuss this with us.
First touchdown of the season for Jones-Drew.
Well, you see a lot of helmets coming off these days. I don't know if it's a bad fit or that's the style of these new helmets that are to protect against concussions. But Jones-Drew lucky to get across the goal line with the ball before his hat comes flying off.
He has it in front of him.
Boy, what a pop. 7 plays, 45 yards. Scobie tacks on the extra point. The Jacksonville offense has come to play. Deuce is liking what he sees. It's 14-7. Well, if Maurice Jones-Drew started himself today in fantasy football, he's doing fine after the 1-yard touchdown. It's been predominantly run throughout for Jacksonville. 14 running plays, 2 passes so far for the Jaguars.
2 perfect passes, and that was Jones-Drew's first rushing touchdown this season.
Justin Tryon in. Devin Moore is being evaluated, so Tryon will return the kick from Scobie. And Tryon is chopped down to the 15-yard line by Montel Owens, a 19-yard return. Another look at the touchdown, Dan.
Well, watch Clint Sessions right here, and then watch the reaction by Kelvin Hayden. Sessions will knock Jones-Drew's helmet up into the air. Hayden thinks it's a ball. He would have scored if that would have been the ball. Great reaction by Sessions. Going to catch a little bit of ribbon for that.
Jacksonville with a 14-7 lead. Indianapolis takes over 1st and 10 at the 15-yard line. Eldridge and Clark double tight end set. Manning short drop and a quick toss over to Reggie Wayne, who's angled out of bounds. David Jones over there defensively. It's a 7-yard pickup, sets up 2nd and 3 for Indianapolis. Also should make the point for Indianapolis, every week they seem to set a new record involving Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning and Jeff Saturday, the starting center, 158th start together, the most ever for a QB center combo since the merger in 1970, breaking the previous mark held by Buffalo's Jim Kelly and Kent Hull. Give is to Adai, and Joseph Adai has got a first down as he spins his way out across the 25-yard line for a 5-yard pickup for Indianapolis. Tonight on CBS, she's a wife, mother, and CEO, and when she goes undercover in her own company, it's an episode you'll never forget. Don't miss an all-new Undercover Boss tonight, only CBS.
I wonder how many people get fired in that show.
That's what you thought about?
I'd be worried.
Someone's getting fired. On a 1st and 10 at the 26-yard line for Indianapolis, trailing now 14-7 against Jacksonville. Big hole for Adai. And Joseph Adai accelerates through it. Smith and Morrison there to bring him down. Indianapolis, Dan, has gone 25 straight games without a 100-yard rusher. You have to go back to November of 2008. That's the longest streak in the NFL.
And I love asking running backs who they like to run behind. And Joseph Adai yesterday told us he loves to run behind Jeff Saturday. 2 big runs right up the middle for Adai.
Yep, he said it's Saturday who stirs the pot on that offensive line. The veteran now in his 12th year in the league. Manning throwing on an out route, catch made by Reggie Wayne. Austin Collie was the go-to guy a week ago. So far it seems to be Wayne. That's where Manning has been looking for an 11-yard hookup against David Jones, who drew Reggie Wayne on that side.
Yeah, Manning now 8 of 10. And remember, you know that he knows about this pass defense or lack of pass defense for the Jaguars. They're 29th in the league, giving up over 400 yards a game.
Manning has not thrown at Rasheem Mathis, the 8-year veteran on the other side, playing cornerback for Jacksonville. Another first down for Indy at the 43-yard line. Running play. And Adai with long strides. He kept the legs churning, was able to pick up an extra yard or two. 6-yard pickup for Joseph Adai. Peyton Manning, through the first 3 weeks of the season, just spectacular.
Yeah, 9 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Got away with one earlier in the first quarter, but nobody playing at a better pace now than that man right there.
Had his 58th career 300-yard passing game last week. That's 5 behind Dan Marino. Manning threw for 325 in the victory over Denver last week. 2nd and 4. Jacksonville crowding the line. Manning, timing play, broken up. And Jones matched up with Reggie Wayne. Jones wins that mini battle, the former Cincinnati Bengal making the play.
Yeah, a real fine play by David Jones. Manning and Wayne had just hooked up on this exact same route, just a 3-step quick out, ball thrown slightly behind Wayne, and that's right where the left hand of David Jones was.
Indianapolis with a 4-receiver set, facing a 3rd and 4. Shotgun formation. Motion man is the rookie out of Michigan State, Blair White. Manning. Touch pass is caught. Manning put it exactly where it had to be to Reggie Wayne. David Jones may have won the last battle. He didn't win that one. It's a 26-yard pass play.
And Manning is going to find a one-on-one coverage. If you decide to cover number 87, expect 87 to have the ball come his way. Great anticipation by Wayne seeing this ball underthrown, kind of almost stops in his tracks to make the catch in front of Jones and before Alexander can come over from his safety spot.
Mike Hart checks in at running back. He's in his 3rd year out of Michigan. All-time leading rusher for the Wolverines, in fact. And now Manning will direct traffic here on 1st down, working out of the gun. They handle the rush. Manning throws over the middle. Austin Collie. Big numbers last week for Collie. Finished with a career-high 12 catches, 171 yards, 2 touchdowns. Hit that time by Darrell Smith. It's a 7-yard pickup.
Collie works so well over the middle. He's a real student of the position of slot. And now with Blair White playing outside, Collie can go back inside as we've got a Jaguar down at the 19-yard line.
That is Darrell Smith, who was in on that tackle. Shaken up, will step aside. Jacksonville in front by a touchdown.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Prudential, the rock you can rely on to meet today's financial challenges. Corona, who invites you to find your beach. And by AT&T, rethink possible.
14-7 Jacksonville in front. Dan, you mentioned Austin Collie's reputation as a gym rat. We asked Peyton Manning about Collie. He said, I'm on the plane and Collie's watching cut-ups of other receivers on his cell phone. So we had to investigate this. This is truly the director's cut. Our director, Suzanne Smith, working this out. That's Austin Collie's cell phone, cut-ups of Wes Welker that he likes to watch during some downtime.
And also watches Brandon Stokely and San Antonio Holmes. And he's found out that routes are not always run the same way. You got to know what the down and distance is, know what you need for the 1st down, and feel the coverage as much as just see it.
I have cut-ups of games I've done 3-4 years ago on my cell phone. I like to watch on the plane.
I have yours too. Yeah, they're good.
Yeah, my games.
Yeah.
2nd and 3 for Indianapolis. Appeared that Darrell Smith was okay as he went to the sideline. Joseph Adai, and bunched up, ran into a group, but very close to a 1st down. Aaron Campman leading that charge for Jacksonville. We'll see where they spot the football.
As you said, and this is real close. This, if I'm Manning, I'm going to call for that for the measurement here. Obviously, he needs to get all the way to the 15-yard line, about 6 inches short.
So we'll call it 3rd and 1. It's less than that. Adai now with 29 yards rushing and a touchdown for Indianapolis. 10th play, long drive for the Colts. Shotgun formation for Manning. They need half a yard. Here comes the rush. They hold off, and Manning gets driven. Big shot. Oh, boy. Reggie Wayne got stamped by Anthony Smith. It's a 9-yard pickup and a new set of downs. 1st and goal for Indianapolis inside the 10.
3rd down and 6 inches, and the Colts are in a shotgun. Manning throwing to Reggie Wayne. Look at the patience by Manning, and then a hit by Anthony Smith. Wayne was going down anyway. Looked worse than it was as he bounces right back up.
1st and goal for the Colts. Adai parallel to Manning. Indianapolis trailing by 7. 7:50 mark of the 2nd quarter. Manning makes a change here. Manning, quick throw. He's got Clark for the touchdown. Indianapolis an extra point away from tying this one up at 14 apiece. Peyton Manning to Dallas Clark again. How many times have they done that through the years?
Well, this is Manning just reading the defense. Here's Clark on the line of scrimmage right here, and the defender way out of position here. Just a quick pop pass, nobody in there. He's read the blitz of Kirk Morrison, middle linebacker coming right at him. Clark will never get a more easy touchdown catch than that one.
And Dan, I'll answer my own question. That's 44 touchdowns now. Manning to Clark, the 2nd most QB to tight end touchdown combo in league history behind Drew Bledsoe and Ben Coates. Extra point is good. We are knotted up at 14 apiece. You want to get some shade here in sunny Jacksonville? Just sit next to Peyton Manning. That's what Austin Collie decided to do. 11 plays, 85 yards, the touchdown. Dallas Clark, 44th career touchdown reception from Peyton Manning to Clark. McAfee Kicks it off to Tyquan Underwood. Underwood remains on his feet. A flag comes down as he crosses the 30-yard line and comes up just short of the 35. Penalty marker Ron Winter will fill us in after the 30-yard return by Underwood.
During the return, holding, number 58 return team. 10-yard penalty, first down.
And hold against the rookie Jacob Cutrera from LSU. The MetLife Blimp providing today's aerial coverage. Look for the MetLife Blimps as they team up with CBS for more coverage throughout the NFL season.
Tight ball game, 14 all, and total yards, Indianapolis 133 total yards, and Jacksonville 121. Both offenses executing as they wanted to so far in this ball game.
Jacksonville playing its first divisional game of the season. They were 3-3 against the AFC South in 2009. On first down, quick slant, catch made by Mike Thomas, and Thomas is thrown down by Justin Tryon for Indianapolis. It's a 7-yard gain on the quick hitter.
And of Garrard's 3 passes, he's completed all 3. One was a bootleg, and 2 of them have been of this quick 3-step drop, getting the ball out to his wide receiver. So Garrard perfect on the day, 3 for 3.
And because there haven't been a lot of attempts, there haven't been protection issues. He was sacked 6 times last week in the loss to Philadelphia. 2nd and 3 now for Jacksonville. Lewis goes in motion. And it's a moving pocket for Garrard, throwing on the run. Finds the open man, Mike Thomas. Thomas having a big day. First down across the 35. That one covers 18 yards through the air.
Again, Dirk Cutter saying he wanted to move the pocket for Garrard. He likes to throw on the run. We've already seen him run the ball from 25 yards out for a touchdown. This is a heavy run look. Jordan Black came in as a tight end on the weak side. They rolled away from him, and Garrard finds Thomas in the secondary for a big gain.
And Dan, just looking at the defensive backs right now for Indianapolis, Gerard Powers is not on the field. It's Kelvin Hayden and Justin Tryon for the Colts. First down for Jacksonville. Garrard, couple of pumps, decides to run with it. And Garrard gets hit by Keontae Dawson, the 4th-year defensive end from Texas Tech. We talked about the fact that David Garrard got banged around last week against Philadelphia. They had a tough time protecting him, and Garrard's confidence certainly took a hit. Week 2, the issue was really the turnovers, including the 4 interceptions thrown by David Garrard and a couple of fumbles. Maurice Jones-Drew and Mike Sims-Walker. So the Jacksonville offense, each of the last 2 weeks, 16 points combined. They've already got 14 here today. Maurice Jones-Drew, nice angle on that run for a first down and a penalty marker thrown. 5-yard pickup. They ran to the right. Wonder if there was a hold on that side to help spring Maurice Jones-Drew loose.
Holding. Offense number 78. 10-yard penalty. Repeat, second down.
Yeah, that's the extra offensive lineman playing tight end, Jordan Black. And he'll get an earful when he comes over the sidelines, as that nullifies a first down by Maurice Jones-Drew. He's got a couple of hands on number 68 there that time, Eric Foster, the defensive end. Eric Foster first to call the penalty for Ron Winter.
So now a 2nd and 14 as Peyton Manning talks a little offense on his side of the field. See if this Indianapolis defense can make a stop. Jacksonville has played well first half. Garrard over the middle, and Mike Sims-Walker unable to haul it in. Kelvin Hayden there, and the first incomplete pass for David Garrard. He's now 4 of 5.
Well, you can't blame this on Garrard, though. He got back in a hurry, planted his back foot, threw a strike to Sims-Walker over the middle. Good coverage by Hayden, but this has to go down as a drop pass. As you see Sims-Walker hang his head in shame.
So 3rd and 14 now for Jacksonville. And a bigger challenge here with 5:03 to play in this first half. 6 defensive backs. Powers is now in there along with the veteran Deshae Townsend for Indianapolis. Play clock winding down. Garrard takes the snap. Garrard in the pocket. Gets rid of it. A low throw handled by Thomas. And Mike Thomas will be spun down shy of a first down by Powers. 9-yard pickup. Dwight Freeney supplied the heat on David Garrard. And Jacksonville will be forced to punt.
And Jacksonville just can't afford to get in third and long passing situations because of the pass rush of Freeney and Mathis. You can see when he goes back to 7 yards deep, as he did that time, that there's just too much speed for Monroe and Evan Britton to hold out those great pass rushers.
Adam Podlesh, 4th-round pick back in 2007 out of Maryland, 4-time All-ACC selection punting. And Gerard Powers waiting. Fields cleanly at the 18 and brought down very quickly as he crossed the 20-yard line, hit the 25. Jacksonville getting down the field. Don Carey, good coverage. Indianapolis on offense when we come back to Jacksonville.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by DirecTV. Watch your favorite team wherever you live, only on DirecTV. Call to switch today. And by E-Trade.
And coming up, Sprint Halftime Report. James Brown and company, the latest NFL scores and highlights. That's coming up on the Sprint Halftime Report. Indianapolis with a 1st and 10 at the 26-yard line. We're tied at 14 with just over 4 minutes to go in this first half. A die with 29 rushing yards in the first half. Manning the throw through the hands of Austin Collie. Incomplete. Indianapolis has never started a season 0-2 in the division since the AFC South was formed in 2002. They lost their first divisional game to Houston.
Watch the pressure right up the middle here on Peyton Manning. Good pass rush, good push right there, and a rare sight to see Collie drop a good pass.
And throwing at Rasheem Mathis, who's known as a ball hawk. Former Pro Bowler in 2006. Manning pats the ball and throws underneath the coverage. Reggie Wayne, that's career catch number 700 for the 10-year veteran. It covers 5 yards, and he's played at such a high level for so many years now. 6 straight 1,000-yard seasons, 4 Pro Bowls in his career.
Yeah, last week the Denver Broncos basically put Champ Bailey on him, and Bailey did a good job so far today. Reggie Wayne getting off early and often in this one.
And hasn't missed a game since 2001. No Gonzalez, no Garcon here today for Indianapolis. On a 3rd and 5 for the Colts. Manning throws short of the first down. He completes it to Reggie Wayne. But they picked up only 3 yards as David Jones helped make sure of it.
Really tight coverage by the secondary of the Jaguars, and they're hearing a very appreciative hand from this crowd. Good job by Jones, just staying all over Reggie Wayne, making sure after the catch he can't pick up that first down.
And the second Colt 3 and out of the day. McAfee punting to Mike Thomas, who backpedals and lets it bounce. Wise decision as it rolls into the end zone. It'll be a touchback. Jacksonville will have it at the 20. That's a 66-yard punt. Longest of Pat McAfee's career. Well, last year, these two teams met in Jacksonville, Week 15. Jaguars led it 31-28. Late in the 4th quarter, touchdown pass Garrard to Thomas. Peyton Manning hits Reggie Wayne. Long touchdown to put the Colts up by 4. Jaguars driving late. Garrard intercepted by Jacob Lacey to end the game. The Colts a winner 35-31. So while Indianapolis, you look at the numbers, 14-4 all-time against Jacksonville. Look at the last 5 meetings. All of these games decided by 7 points or less.
And this one here has that same feeling, doesn't it?
It sure does. Jacksonville came out and looked like a different team than the one we've seen the last 2 weeks. Flags down on the handoff. Big pop as Maurice Jones-Drew got leveled. And it was Clint Session.
Yeah, and somebody jumped off sides on the Colts defensive line trying to time the snap count. This will give the Jags first a free 5 yards.
Offside. Defense number 90 in the neutral zone at the snap. 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
And that's Dan Muir called on the penalty. Go to NFL.com's Game Center for all the latest Week 4 live game stats, fan discussions, in-game video highlights, and more only at NFL.com. Yeah, one other thing, Dan, that Maurice Jones-Drew said about fantasy football. He said that the guys that work on the field, out on the periphery, they'll talk to him during the game and say, hey, you know, I need you to get 2 more yards for my fantasy team. And Maurice Jones-Drew's like, hey, come on. I'm doing what I got to do.
And he's doing it again.
Nice up fake. Downfield for a 4-yard gain. Fili Mawala making the stop on Maurice Jones-Drew. Actually hosts a fantasy football program on satellite radio, so that shows you how into it he really is. It'll be 2nd and 1 as we hit the 2-minute warning. Late stages, 2nd quarter here in Florida. Jacksonville entered action today, 30th in the NFL in scoring, 13.3 points per game. They are tied with Indianapolis at 14 apiece. Peyton Manning, 14 of 18, 118 yards and a touchdown. Garrard, give for Maurice Jones-Drew, and he is buried. But he does have enough for the first down. Dwight Freeney with the tackle. NFL Today update. Let's go to New York. Check in with JB.
Ian, as Dan knows, with the escapability and excitement of Michael Vick comes this risk here. 26 seconds left in the first half. He gets hit hard, injured rib. He's out of the game. Unlikely return. It is questionable. Kevin Cobb is in for the Eagles. Back to Ian Eagle and Dan Fouts.
Oh, how quickly things can change in this league, JB. Garrard trying to set it up. He does for the fullback, Greg Jones. And behind the line of scrimmage, Gerard Powers with a lick. 2-yard loss on the play for Jacksonville.
And the first down run by Maurice Jones-Drew was real close to being a horse collar tackle. And maybe it was right there, just barely grazing the back of the collar. Was not called. Greg Jones hesitated on that last play.
And Maurice Jones-Drew limped off a bit after that play involving Freeney. It's Rashad Jennings getting the call, and Jennings is wrapped up by Gary Brackett, the steady tackler, along with Keontae Dawson. We're down to 45 seconds to play in this 2nd quarter, and a timeout taken by Indianapolis.
Yeah, smart timeout, and the fans not liking that conservative play call. Things have been going very well for the Jags and David Garrard, but the bobbled ball by Greg Jones on the previous play, you cannot afford to let this Colt defense rally to the ball. They're fastest team defensively in the NFL.
Don't forget, coming up, Sprint halftime report. Just heard from James Brown. The rest of the crew will be with him at New York City studios for our NFL scores and highlights, all coming up on the Sprint halftime report.
Now, going back to Michael Vick getting hurt, that's always the danger when you run your quarterback. Nobody runs better than Michael Vick, but sooner or later, those guys on the other side of the ball, they're going to get you, and they got him bad, didn't they?
Sure, got a Malachi crunch as he came through against Washington, and he paid for it. 3rd and 8. Garrard sets it up for Maurice Jones-Drew, trying to get him out in space. Fighting, and he stood up before he got to that first down line, unless they give him forward progress with Brackett and Lacey there. Let's see where they spot the football. It is enough. What an effort, Maurice Jones-Drew.
And now the Jags are going to call timeout, which is a smart move. They lost a lot of seconds off the clock.
Jacksonville.
He gets across the 40-yard line and then is pushed back. A generous spot, but a first down spot nonetheless.
It really turns out to be a pivotal play because you don't get the first down there. Indianapolis calls a timeout, and if you leave any crack for Peyton Manning and the Colts offense, it's too much.
No question about it. Now we'll see how aggressive Jack Del Rio decides to be.
You know, it's interesting. This is something we talked to him about late stages, first half. He has been very conservative with Josh Scobie, not allowing him to try long field goals, and this is a situation where he might have to face a decision.
Scobie's got a huge leg. He'll let him try one from 65 yards if it's at the end of the game, but not at the end of the half. That's puzzling.
They need about 25 yards for a 52-yard field goal. Garrard looking downfield. Boy, Rashad Jennings just got leveled by Clint Session. A timeout taken with 19 seconds to play in this first half.
Sessions making a highlight reel in this first half, knocking the helmet off Maurice Jones-Drew. That time he comes in and just levels Jennings.
Had 104 tackles last season. Clint Session, a 4th-round pick back in 2007 out of Pittsburgh. So it doesn't look like Peyton Manning's going to get an opportunity here. Late in the second quarter, Jacksonville has got 1 timeout to work with, tied at 14 with Indianapolis, and hoping that Josh Scobie can get a field goal try to give them the lead. Target line around the 42-yard line. That would be a 60-yard attempt for Scobie. Scobie has not missed a field goal try this season. He's 4 of 4. 2nd and 4 for Jacksonville. Garrard, protection is there on a dump off for Jennings, and he's dropped at midfield. Lacey collaborating with Powers to bring him down, and timeout taken with 13 seconds left.
And last time out of the first half, so that pass really doesn't help the Jaguar cause. To get Scobie within that 60-yard range now, need about an 8-yard completion, but that's still asking a lot of Scobie. And really, I'm not sure that Del Rio would give him that chance.
Yep.
He's talked about him being 4 for 4 this year. All 4 of them have been from 40 yards or more. But last year when they tried long field goals, he missed 4 field goals that were over 50 yards
and
at
Jack
the end of the first half.
Made the point to us in our meetings on Friday earlier this week that, hey, we want to keep his percentage high. We feel that he's a guy who remains more confident when the numbers favor him.
Yeah, but 3 points are 3 points.
I'm with you.
If you're a kicker, you got to go out there and kick it for me.
So this is 3rd and 1. Now they have to get out of bounds. They can't work this towards the middle of the field, or time's just going to run out in this first half. Garrard looking. He throws, incomplete. 8 seconds left. Mike Thomas, the intended target. So now they face 4th down with 8 seconds to play.
And the punt team comes out. Very disappointing way to end your first half for the Jaguars, but it's been that kind of season, especially the last 2 games for Jacksonville.
Now Jacksonville outscored 66-16 the last 2 weeks. And right now all tied up with Indianapolis at 14 apiece. Gerard Power standing at his own 10-yard line. Adam Podlesh had a 41-yard punt on an earlier try today. And 4 seconds left. And Sales out of bounds with just 1 second remaining on the clock. 42-yard punt. Back Indianapolis up to the 8-yard line.
How about a Hail Mary pass there instead of a punt?
There on the last play?
Yeah.
Yeah, why not? It probably would have taken up the clock, right?
With Garrard's arm, you know, he can reach the end zone. Ball's knocked down. The Colts would not have any time left. As you said, the clock would have run out probably. He could have bought some time in the pocket before he let it go. Still, you got a chance of making a play for a touchdown, something this team could really use.
Yeah, I think that's a good thought. Instead, they punt it. Indianapolis takes a knee, and that's it for the first half here in Jacksonville. Colts and Jaguars tied at 14. We'll be back. Sprint halftime report. JB and the rest of the crew after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS. The storylines here in Jacksonville. Peyton Manning continues to impress. Big numbers in the first half for Manning. David Garrard, bounce back mode for Garrard, leading this Jacksonville offense, but also getting some help. Maurice Jones-Drew running wild in that first half. Jacksonville and Indianapolis all tied up at 14 as we get you ready for second half action. Right now, let's take a look at the points of protection presented by Allstate.
Now you talked about the hot start for Peyton Manning. Well, that's a good idea to keep him throwing. He's distributed the ball to 5 different receivers, and David Garrard's done a good job, but it's because they've been able to run the ball with Maurice Jones-Drew on the ground, taking time off the clock. It's very important for the Jags to keep playing that well, builds their confidence.
Ian Eagle along with Dan Fouts, and this Jacksonville team, the curiosity coming into this game, would we see improvement from Jacksonville from the last 2 weeks? The answer a resounding yes in the first half.
It's nothing like seeing a rival come into your backyard. These teams have played each other tough every time, it seems, although Jacksonville has had trouble beating the Colts.
McAfee kicking it off for Indianapolis. Tyquan Underwood, the return man, and he's brought down short of the 20-yard line by the Indianapolis Special Teams Corps, led by Philip Wheeler.
And when we look at the halftime stats, pretty even ball game so far with a tie score. But David Garrard, getting back to his pass distribution, has been pretty good. 9 of 11 completions to 6 different receivers. So the quick passing, the bootlegs, the rollouts are all working for the Jaguars.
Jacksonville got a win in their season opener. Jaguars beat the Denver Broncos right here at home, Everbank Field, but back-to-back losses to San Diego and Philadelphia. Philosophy stays the same. It's Maurice Jones-Drew finds an opening, and Maurice Jones-Drew picks up 9.5. We'll see where that spot is as Antonio Johnson was in on the stop. Comparing the numbers, Garrard, no mistakes in the first half, which is probably the most important part of the equation for Jacksonville.
Yeah, he hasn't been knocked around, has not hit the ground once, except when he went into the end zone on that 25-yard option play.
Yeah, it's a gain of 10 for Jones-Drew and a first down for the Jaguars. Mike Sims-Walker has been held without a catch so far. Jones-Drew driven backwards. And no gain on the play. Philip Wheeler there defensively for Indianapolis.
Been a good first half from Maurice Jones-Drew. Real patient, getting good blocking up front, following his fullback Greg Jones. And really, this is the Colts were most concerned about stopping number 32, and so far today, they have not.
And Jones-Drew told us he's very close with the number of Indianapolis defensive players, including Antoine Bethea and Kelvin Hayden, Bob Sanders, who of course is out for Indianapolis. Jones-Drew got a hit from the side. It's a gain of 1. Gary Brackett in on that stop for the Colts, and now Jacksonville facing a 3rd and long.
And this is not where Jacksonville wants to be. You turn loose this pass rush of Freeney and Mathis off the corners, and you're asking for big trouble. So the Jags will counter with either keeping the tight end, Mercedes Lewis, who has yet to catch a pass today, into block, or having the tailback, Rashad Jennings, chip on the end on this side.
So keep an eye on number 89, the 5th-year tight end, Mercedes Lewis. Garrard on 3rd down, throwing. And he makes the connection to Lewis, but short of a first down at the 35. It's a 7-yard pickup. Deshae Townsend there to bring him down. Jacksonville will punt, first possession, second half.
Well, this is Mercedes Lewis right here. Watch him, a little chip there on Robert Mathis, but it does not get enough yardage with his pass route to pick up the first down. Good reaction by Powers to stop him short by 2 yards.
And he was a big target in the season opener, caught 2 touchdowns against Denver. And now Jacksonville, 3rd consecutive punt. Adam Podlesh, after scoring touchdowns, first 2 possessions. Gerard Powers tripped up as he hit the 30-yard line for Indianapolis. Peyton Manning and the Colts offense on the field when we come back. Maurice Jones-Drew his 11th career game against Indianapolis and scored his 9th career touchdown against the Colts earlier today. We're tied at 14. Indianapolis with its first offensive possession of this second half. 12-11 to play in the 3rd quarter. On a 1st and 10, open up at the 31-yard line. Play fake. Manning throwing over the middle, and Austin Collie ranging over to make the play for Indianapolis for a 14-yard pass play and a first down for the Colts.
Good start in that first half for the Colts, going right down the field in 11 plays. A perfect drive to start the game. And only 4 possessions in that first half. Both offenses controlling the ball, taking time off the clock.
Colts are averaging 1,413 yards of offense per game. That's 3rd in the NFL. They're 2nd in points per game, just under 30. Manning, the quick hitter, and Clark couldn't hold on to it. And Dallas Clark took a shot at the end of that play as he remains down on the turf. Clark slow to get up.
Well, ball right on his fingertips, out in front a little bit, but there's a shot there. Kirk Morrison came from the inside, and on the outside it's Anthony Smith, but that's a shot to the ribs, and that'll knock the wind out of you, if not more things.
Dallas Clark, 100 catches last season for over 1,100 yards, went to the Pro Bowl, creates mismatches at that tight end spot.
He's on pace for another 100-catch year at 25 so far.
So Jacob Tamme comes in. Gian Robinson was released earlier this week. Tamme steps up to slide in for Clark. Manning on the throw. He connects with Joseph Adai. 5-yard pickup. Darrell Smith, the linebacker, dealing with the running back.
You talked about Adai's selflessness in the first half, and there's a good example. Here he is going, a premier running back, playing wide receiver in that 5 wide receiver set there. Another target for number 18.
He is versatile. Joseph Adai, 828 yards rushing last year, but had 51 receptions. Clark is back in there for Indianapolis. 3rd and 5 for the Colts. Motion man Blair White. Manning. Good rhythm, throws, and it's complete to White. So the rookie off the practice squad last week from Michigan State, former walk-on at Michigan State. That's a 7-yard pass play and a first down. Really interesting story. Peyton Manning yesterday when we met with him, talking about hand signals and the fact that they don't reveal the hand signals in the preseason because they don't know who's going to actually make the team and who might get cut and picked up by a division rival like Jacksonville or Tennessee. And Blair White is involved in this story because he had to learn everything on the fly last week. They don't even share with the practice squad guys.
And he's just fresh off the practice squad. Caught a touchdown pass last week, but had a real cram course in this offense when he was activated.
Out of the pocket and complete to Dallas Clark. He took a shove from Smith, and Clark holds on for another Indianapolis first down. It just shows you the precision of this offense. Indianapolis, the ability to go to so many different areas on the field.
Yeah, the old Iowa linebacker. That was a good move, moving him to tight end. How many tight ends can line up out wide and run a 20-yard comeback pattern with that type of precision? Very few.
1st and 10 for the Colts. They're on the move at the 32-yard line of Jacksonville. Adai, the single setback. Running play. Adai with a hop step runs inside for a gain of 5. Russell Allen there to make the stop for Jacksonville.
Manning has only missed on 5 of his 23 passes. And remember, Pierre Garçon is not here. Anthony Gonzalez is not here. So it's the next guy that has to step up. The Colts been using a lot of 2 tight ends with Brody Eldridge and flanking Dallas Clark out wide as if he were a wide receiver.
Garçon out with a hamstring injury. Gonzalez out with an ankle injury. He was on IR last year with a right knee injury, had surgery in November. And flags come flying down. Movement on that line with Ryan Deem on the right side. Lee J. Douzable, number 69 defensively, jumped. And who's to blame?
Well, you got to point at the other guy. That's the number one part of jumping off sides.
Do you learn that at the rookie symposium? Is that how it works?
I think it's a natural thing. You know, it's his fault.
Encroachment. Defense. 5-yard penalty. Remains 2nd down.
Colts have had a lot of injuries to overcome in just 3 games this year. Donald Brown was out, did not make the trip, nor did Pierre Garçon. Of course, Gonzalez has been out. Jamie Richard on that offensive line is out for today's game. And, of course, the Colts on defense losing the great Bob Sanders.
Kyle Devan, former player in the Arena League 2, member of the Boise Burn, starting at left guard for Indianapolis today. 2nd and 1 after the penalty. Manning drops and throws over the middle, and it's intercepted. Anthony Smith returning it for Jacksonville. Out to midfield, and he's finally banged down in Indianapolis territory. Brody Eldridge, the intended target. 49-yard return off the pick. That'll be the first interception of the season for Peyton Manning, and it wasn't his fault.
And the first pick for Anthony Smith. And it was his fault because he makes a great catch of this deflected pass. Trying to get the ball down the middle. Aiming for his big tight end, Brody Eldridge. Eldridge had the ball right in his hands, but it's knocked out from behind. Looked like Gerald Alexander came in, knocked the ball, and how about that reaction by Smith to grab it off his pink shoelaces.
Boy, looked very close to hitting the ground as well. Jacksonville trying to snap the ball, and they do. Maurice Jones-Drew up the gut. And Jones-Drew driven down by Gary Brackett for a gain of 1.5 yards. Another look.
Nope, that ball is pinned against his ankle. Watch the left hand of Smith after the big hit by Alexander, and he'll just pin that ball against his leg, keeps it off the turf, and has a big return out to midfield. Well, what an athletic move that is.
Wow.
That deserves a double wow.
First interception of the season for Peyton Manning. It looked like Indianapolis was going in to score. Instead, we remain tied at 14. Jones-Drew. And falls forward. Got hit by Robert Mathis. We asked Mathis about trying to tackle Maurice Jones-Drew, and Mathis said, yeah, I remember clearly last year I gave him a nice pop, and he just bounced off of me. He's tough to bring down, the little guy.
Yeah, he says he's one of those guys that you hate. You hate him because he's not on your team.
Yep.
That's as high a compliment as you can give an opponent.
75 yards rushing for Jones-Drew. He's got a touchdown. Jacksonville trying to go out in front now as we come up on 7 minutes to play in the third quarter. Garrard, short drop. Throwing. Open man, Mike Thomas, and a first down. Tackled at the 30-yard line of Indianapolis. That's a 13-yard pass play.
Pass protection is fabulous on this three-step drop. Watch how much time Garrard has. Looks left, pumps once, gets a great job by a center, Brad Meester. The Colts try to get their hands up in the air, but just great patience and outstanding protection by that O-line.
5 catches, 68 yards for the second-year pro from Arizona, Mike Thomas. Give is to Jones-Drew, and he emerges through that first line into the second level for a 7-yard gain. Smiley and Britton with good blocks up front to help spring Jones-Drew loose. Peyton Manning, 165 consecutive passes until that pick. And an injury for Indianapolis. And it's Melvin Bullitt once again. Tied at 14 here in Jacksonville.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. FedEx, we understand. You need a winning game plan. FedEx. And by the new Silver Bullet aluminum pint from Coors Light, official beer sponsor of the NFL.
You can support the NFL's A Crucial Catch breast cancer awareness campaign by bidding on authentic game day NFL Pink products and experiences at NFL.com/auction. Proceeds benefit the American Cancer Society. We see Pink throughout the stadium here and all around the NFL, and those items will be up for auction down the road at NFL.com. DeJuan Morgan slides in to replace Melvin Bullitt after the injury.
You know, Bullitt is wearing a brace under his shoulder pads on his right shoulder. And I just wonder if he was hurt in the first half. They put that brace on at halftime, and if he has re-injured that shoulder.
Playing with 6 offensive linemen, Jordan Black is in. Rashad Jennings gets the call, and a crowd there of Indianapolis defenders to limit him to a gain of maybe a yard.
Such a difference between Rashad Jennings, is 6'1", 228. A bigger back than Maurice Jones-Drew, but not as accomplished or polished as Drew. Drew has a way of hesitating from that I formation, finding a little crease and picking up the yards. There's Bullitt on the sidelines, definitely depressed. You can see that right shoulder there with that black brace underneath his shoulder pads.
So already thin at safety with no Sanders. Brandon King is inactive. DeJuan Morgan, the only other safety they have. Garrard breaks free, and Garrard does it himself. Gary Brackett was the one who applied the pressure, but it's a 7-yard scamper and a first down for Jacksonville as Garrard ducks out of bounds.
Well, he's so big and strong at 235 pounds. Watch him pull out of the tackle of an outstanding tackler in Gary Brackett. Safely out of bounds, avoiding contact, picking up first down inside the red zone.
1st and 10 at the 15-yard line. That interception from Smith, denying points for Indianapolis, and now Jacksonville trying to make the Colts pay. Fake the handoff. Garrard looks. Garrard throws. Touchdown! Mercedes Lewis. Jacksonville goes in front. It's a 20-yard strike from Garrard.
Third touchdown catch of the season for Mercedes Lewis. He had 2 in the home opener against Denver. And what a target in the red zone at 6'6". Here he is right here coming out, running the post route. Look at time to throw in the bullet. When you're that big, look at the defenders bounce off the 275-pound tight end.
Extra point, Josh Scobie. All Melvin Bullitt could do was watch from the sideline for Indianapolis. Garrard taking advantage. Mercedes Lewis on the receiving end. Jacksonville in front.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by the all-new CRZ Sport Hybrid, only from Honda. And by Verizon, the official wireless service provider of the NFL.
NFL on CBS rejoining you here in Northeast Florida, 21-14. Catch anything? We called a good game here. Jacksonville in front by 7. 4:31 to play in the third. Mike Hart in there for Indianapolis. No Donald Brown today, out with a hamstring injury, and Hart picks up 2 yards, backing up Joseph Adai. Want to thank the MetLife Blimp for providing aerial coverage of all the action below. Look for the MetLife Blimp, Snoopy 1 and Snoopy 2 when they pass through a town near you. Indianapolis last week in the victory over Denver outgained 519 to 365 by the Broncos. They've been outgained today 253 to 184 by Jacksonville. Shotgun. Manning throwing and finds Blair White. Manning was able to keep that alive for just a tad longer for a 14-yard hookup and a first down.
And how about the trust that Manning has in a guy that was on the practice squad just a couple of weeks ago? Letting that ball go over the middle, and White continued to work and rewarded his quarterback with a huge catch.
We asked Manning about White. He says he constantly has a pen and paper in his hand, notorious note taker. Nobody's going to outwork him. Quick hitter. Reggie Wayne has done that countless times throughout his career. 3:10 and counting left in this third quarter. And a 6.5-yard gain on the first down.
It's almost as if Manning and Wayne have a game of their own within the game. Manning looks out there, sees David Jones with coverage that's a little bit loose, perhaps a little bit outside, gives him a little nod. Wayne runs the route. Manning throws a strike.
On a 2nd and 5 now for Indianapolis. 4-receiver set. Adai. Little juke move by Adai, and he's got a first down into Jacksonville territory. Brought down just short of the 46-yard line as he picks up 6 yards. Good dance there by Adai.
Man, as impressive a 6-yard run as you'll ever see. Talk about traffic and keeping your wits about you and your eyes open, your legs moving, picking up a first down. What a great run by Adai.
Adai said to us that he believes their offense, the Indianapolis offense, sets the tone. The defense isn't going to dictate what Indy does, whether it's the number 1 ranked defense or number 32 ranked defense. They do what they want. Manning forced out of the pocket, connects with Austin Collie. And Collie lunges forward for about a 5-yard gain on first down.
Doesn't seem like much, but what it does is it keeps a good feeling going among the guys wearing the white jerseys. Every play on this drive has been successful. Offensive line controlling things for Clyde Christensen. New offensive coordinator for Indianapolis in his 9th year, though, working with Peyton Manning and this great offense.
Yeah, Jim Caldwell said the coaching transition has been seamless, very smooth with Clyde Christensen, Pete Metzelaars, now the offensive line coach as Manning throws underneath the coverage. It's Wayne once again, and a first down across the 35-yard line. That covers 9 yards.
There's Tom Moore, the senior offensive assistant, and one of the most underrated offensive coaches of all time.
Adai gets the call and zigzags towards the sideline. David Jones there giving chase.
They're dictating the tempo now as Peyton Manning got up and quick snapped that ball. Caught the Jaguars off balance and appear to be getting tired out there as they're just milling around, wondering where Manning and the Colts are going to hit them next.
You know, the adage has always been you got to run the football in this league. Indianapolis was ranked dead last running the football last year and went to the Super Bowl.
You got a problem with that?
I've got no issues with that.
Me neither.
8th play of the drive. I know you don't. Dallas Clark on the receiving end, and Clark just short of a first down. He picks up 4 yards on the play. We'll hit 30 seconds to play in this third quarter.
It's a pretty good answer for the Colts offense after the turnover and a good return by Anthony Smith and the Jags touchdown to Mercedes Lewis. Doesn't phase Manning, doesn't phase this offense. They come right back their next possession. They're getting close to the red zone.
3rd and a long one for Indianapolis. Should be the final play of this third quarter. Hard in the backfield. 2-second difference, game clock to play clock. They don't have to run a play here, and they won't. Handoff to Mike Hart, who bangs his way for a first down, but they ran out of time.
Yeah, the clock had run out. This play should not count.
There was a 2-second difference, play clock, meaning the play clock had 2 extra seconds compared to the game clock.
Ran to 0-0 before the snap. The previous play did not count. That's the end of the third quarter.
So Indianapolis does not get the first down, but they will have a 3rd and 1 when we come back. Jacksonville leads it 21-14. (21-14), Jaguars leading the Colts. We welcome you back to Jacksonville. Ian Eagle, Dan Fouts, the rest of our CBS crew. The issue at the end of that quarter, they're using special pink whistles, and the whistle didn't work.
I can't. You see, he's got the black whistle, but he's not giving up on the pink one yet, is he? I mean, just stick your fingers in your mouth and blow. I can do that from here.
3rd and 1 for Indianapolis. They did not get the first down. They ran out of time at the end of the third quarter. Adai in the backfield. Colts trailing by 7. First play, fourth quarter. Adai slicing through for the first down. Kyle DeVan stepping in for the injured Jamie Richard with a good block. And Adai slow now to respond and recover after the tackle. 7-yard gain. And
the Colts cannot afford for Joseph Adai to go down. Remember, Donald Brown did not even make the trip. Devin Moore was injured early in the ball game. So they're down to 1 running back. That would be Mike Hart. Great effort by Adai, but he gets fallen on by Mike Pollock, right on the back of his legs.
Joseph Adai appears to be okay after that first down run for Indianapolis to keep this drive going. So Mike Hart steps in, the former 6th-round draft pick in 2008, former member of the practice squad. 1st and 10 for Indianapolis, trailing 21-14, early stages, fourth quarter. Fake the handoff, Manning under pressure, and he's sacked. Jeremy Mincey, first sack of the day for the Jacksonville defense.
Boy, and Mincey got a great get-off on this play. Watch him come around the corner here. He beats Ryan Deem. And Manning has no shot at all getting this ball off, and that is rare. The sack, big play for Mincey and the Jags.
They were last in the NFL last year with 14 sacks. They already have 8 here in week 4 this season. Adai is back. Now a 2nd and 14. Protection holds up. Manning throws on a line to Reggie Wayne. Fumbles the football, and it's scooped up by Alexander. Jacksonville moving down the field with Alexander. Forced out of bounds. Another Indianapolis turnover. Blair White chased down Alexander from behind. Jacksonville with a football and a 7-point lead.
And Reggie Wayne was close to picking up the first down with this catch. Manning has time to find number 87. But here comes David Jones. He's going to get help from Anthony Smith. Smith knocks the ball out. After Anthony Smith returned the interception 47 yards, this time it's Gerald Alexander. He's going to go 44 yards with the return.
What a sequence for Jacksonville. Stop and go, Maurice Jones-Drew. And crosses the 45-yard line for a 3-yard gain.
The killer on both of those turnovers, obviously deep in the end of the field for the Colts, getting down, working. But, you know, after the timeout for Adai, it looked like that really slowed down the momentum for the Colts. The tempo that they were working at gave the Jags a chance to regroup and recuperate a little bit there. They came up with a big play in the secondary.
And this has been un-Colt-like. 2 huge turnovers deep in Jacksonville's territory. 2nd and 7 now for the Jaguars. Garrard straight back and whistles, flags down.
False start against the Jags.
False start. Offense number 11. 5-yard penalty. It remains 2nd down.
Mike Sims-Walker called on the penalty. How about Anthony Smith? Interception, forced fumble. Won a Super Bowl with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now playing on his 3rd NFL team, previously with the Steelers and St. Louis, and a couple of huge plays today for Jacksonville. 2nd and 12 after the penalty. Play fake. Garrard dials up the deep ball. And nobody home. Mike Thomas, the intended receiver. Excellent coverage back there. Gerard Powers getting help from Antoine Bethea for Jim Caldwell's squad.
Yeah, Gerard Powers looked like he was running the pass route that time instead of Mike Thomas.
Now, Indianapolis, that was a guarantee. Getting into the red zone and getting points out of it until that turnover.
In the pass to Brody Eldridge was on target, and he couldn't bring it in while he got hit by Alexander. And then the pass to Reggie Wayne on target could have been a first down. Opportunistic defense, secondary defense by the Jaguars.
But can Jacksonville take advantage of it? 3rd and 12 out near midfield, crowding the line. Now Indianapolis backs up. Handoff for Jones-Drew, and nothing there. It's a loss on the play. And Jacksonville will be forced to punt. Antonio Johnson and Brackett there defensively.
And slow to get up is Maurice Jones-Drew. He's had a bad ankle, and he's limping on his right leg right now as he comes off the field.
So officially goes down as a loss of 2. Boy, he is having trouble. That brings Jones-Drew to 83 yards rushing. Podlish the punt. Gerard Powers, the return man, is going to let this one bounce, and it dies inside the 5. Jacksonville getting down the field. Again, it's Don Carey making the play. And Indianapolis will be pinned deep in its own territory after the 47-yard punt. Another look at Maurice Jones-Drew. He's taking a lot of hard hits here today.
You're watching the NFL on CBS.
11:50 to go in the ball game. Jacksonville clinging to a 7-point lead. Maurice Jones-Drew going to get his right ankle rolled up by Robert Mathis here. But good news for Jag fans. We're told that he is okay and he will return to the lineup next time Jags get the ball.
Indianapolis with the football, trailing by a touchdown. 11:50 to play. A die in the backfield. First down from the 4. Manning throwing out of his own end zone. It's complete. Reggie Wayne. First down, Colts to the 25-yard line, and that's a 21-yard hookup.
Well, that's 11 catches now, over 100 yards for Reggie Wayne, and Was there any doubt that Manning wouldn't go back to him just because he fumbled on the previous possession? Good sign for Jaguar fans seeing number 32 up and about.
Manning entered action 334 yards behind John Elway for third all-time in passing yards. Manning forced to throw that one away. He's got 224 yards passing here today. Coming up, time permitting, Subway postgame show. We'll have the crew in New York for the latest NFL scores and highlights. That's all coming up on the Subway postgame show. Line of scrimmage is the 25-yard line. It's 2nd and 10 for Indianapolis. Just over 11 minutes to play. Manning is 25 of 32, a touchdown and his first interception of the season. Manning fires to Wayne. And Reggie Wayne has another first down. The numbers keep building for Wayne. 12th catch of the day for Reggie Wayne. And that ties his career best in a game set against Tennessee back in 07 and San Francisco last year.
Well, last week it was Austin Collie with 12 catches. Collie has just 3 today, but Wayne has been open all afternoon.
Shotgun formation, new set of downs for the Colts to work with. Pump fake, Manning throws, sideline, incomplete. It was Wayne on a stop and go.
Peyton Manning's pass intended for Reggie Wayne, incomplete.
It'll be 2nd and 10 for Indianapolis.
2nd down and 10.
Now, Manning talked about the depth he thought they had at wide receiver with a great rotation working in Gonzalez, Garcon, Collie, of course, Wayne. And that position's being tested right now because of those injuries to both Gonzalez and Garcon. Second and 10. From the gun. Manning on time to Austin Collie. First down, Indianapolis.
Timing on time, absolutely. Before Collie could get his head around this ball, it's on its way. Watch how quickly Manning sees what he wants on the outside, fires the ball to only the spot where Collie could go up and get it in front of the coverage. Veteran play by a second-year pro.
And Rasheed Mathis was the one with the coverage for Jacksonville. First down at midfield. Coming up on the 10-minute mark. Manning, the short throw. Dallas Clark, catch and run for Clark. And he's banged down at the 35-yard line of the Jaguars. That's a 15-yard pickup and another Indianapolis first down.
And how many times have we seen Dallas Clark make this move after a short catch? Little 5-step move to the outside, spins back to the inside, gets away from Anthony Smith and puts up a big first down.
And it just has tremendous chemistry with Peyton Manning. First down, fake the handoff. Wide receiver screen for Reggie Wayne. So effective as Wayne is inside the 20-yard line, and Indianapolis is moving the ball with ease. That's 18 yards on the catch and run.
Well, it's good blocking on the outside, too. Watch Clark get out in front. Also on the run, getting out in front, Kyle DeVan.
It's a new personal high for Reggie Wayne, his 13th catch of the day. First and 10 inside the red zone. Manning. He's got Reggie Wayne on the slant.
You almost wonder if Reggie's getting tired after the catch. His legs kind of gave out on him. You can't blame him. He's looking around for some air right now.
That's 14 catches for Wayne, 155 yards, and a first and goal for Indianapolis just outside the 5-yard line. Colts looking for the equalizer. Jacksonville 21, Indianapolis 14, 8.5 to play, fourth quarter. Shotgun for Manning. Manning steps, Manning throws. Oh, just too high for Blair White. Stretching the arms, Rasheed Mathis in coverage. It's incomplete.
Before the ball was snapped, Manning went out and said something to White, and you would think that the Jaguars would notice that and cover him, but White gets behind Mathis in the end zone. Manning was forced to step up, and that caused the ball to sail high.
White made his NFL debut last week, caught a touchdown on the win over Denver. 10th play of the drive. It's a running play. Joseph Adai trying to accelerate, and there's a crowd there. First running play of this possession is Aaron Campman in on that stop. Jacksonville claiming they've got the football. They actually do with Kirk Morrison, but there was no fumble ruled on the field. And he picks up 4 yards on the play.
Impressive drive.
As the runner is down by contact.
Sets up 3rd and goal. Fans on their feet. Looking for the tie. Manning inside handoff. Touchdown, Adai. Indianapolis answers. Colts a point after away from tying this game up at 21 apiece. 7:35 to go.
Watch the offensive line. They short set, fake the pass, blocking, and then Adai does the rest as he drags Aaron Campman into the end zone here. And before Darrell Smith can come over to keep him out, what a drive by the Indianapolis Colts. 11 plays, 9 of them passes.
Second rushing touchdown of the day for Adai. Vinatieri the extra point. 21-21. AFC South rivalry, and it's tight again.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by the new action comedy Red, in theaters October 15th. Ford, drive one. And by Allstate, dollar for dollar, nobody protects you like Allstate.
Coming up, time permitting, Subway post-game show. We'll join the crew in New York for the latest NFL scores and highlights. Coming up on the Subway postgame show. Indianapolis 21, Jacksonville 21. We've got 7:35 to go, 4th quarter. Pat McAfee kicking off to Tyquan Underwood of the Jaguars. Underwood's got room to work with. Underwood along the sideline. And he's tackled at the 43-yard line by Tywan Hagler, who was signed earlier this week. 39-yard return. Peyton Manning orchestrating an impressive drive to tie this one up at 21. Jacksonville with a football when we come back. The Colts march 96 yards in 11 plays. Adai, the 2-yard touchdown. He's got 2 today. Indianapolis and Jacksonville tied at 21. Jaguars take over on 1st down. Maurice Jones-Drew with a stutter step move. Antoine Bethea, first man to hit him. It's a 3-yard gain. Tomorrow on CBS. See why critics are calling the new hit drama Hawaii Five-0 your next TV obsession. A new episode tomorrow, only CBS.
Book 'em, Ian.
Oh, Dano.
Doesn't have the same
Doesn't
ring,
have the
does
same
it?
ring,
No,
no.
doesn't work. Sorry.
I don't think it's going to catch on. 2nd and 7 for Jacksonville.
Hope not.
Thanks. Thanks for the support, partner. Fake the pitch. The option play, Garrard. This was effective earlier, running it to the other side. This time Indianapolis was prepared for it, led by Gary Brackett. 3.5 yard gain, depending on that spot.
Yeah, it didn't work as well this time as the Colts really string it out. They take away the pitch man right there by Powers, and that allows Brackett to come in and clean up on the quarterback. But the Jags have got to take advantage of this great field position. Last 3 drives, they've had the start to drive on the Colt 49, the Colt 47, and now on the Jaguar 43. This is a huge 3rd down conversion attempt.
They cannot afford another 3 and out here after their previous possession following the fumble recovery. 3rd and 4 for Jacksonville. Working out of the gun, rush is coming, Garrard gets rid of it, and he's got a 1st down. Tyquan Underwood breaking a tackle. And a flag thrown at the end of the play inside the Indianapolis 40-yard line. Kelvin Hayden missed initially. 13-yard pickup.
And add 15 to it because of the late hit by Jacob Lacey. Came in with his helmet to the back of Underwood.
Personal foul. Necessary roughness defense number 27. Late hit to the runner on the ground. 15-yard penalty.
Good
First
pass
down.
protection by this offensive line. They've done it all day long for David Garrard, and he's getting the ball out quick before the pass rush can get to him. And now the good move by Underwood on the outside. He'll get up the field, and there's the spear in the back by Lacey. If he doesn't lead with the helmet, he may get away with the hit. But because the helmet is buried in the back of Underwood, he gets the flag.
And they place the football at the 23-yard line with 5:35 to go in the fourth. Give Maurice Jones-Drew. Running lane for Jones-Drew, and he's tackled down just short of the 15-yard line. Brad Meester with a good block up front. 8-yard gain.
You got to give credit to the young tackles for the Jaguars. Eugene Monroe and Evan Britton working against two All-Pros in Freeney and Mathis. So far today, there's only been one sack for the Colts, and I believe that was Mathis.
2nd and 2 coming up for Jacksonville. Maurice Jones-Drew has 94 yards rushing and a touchdown. They'll get it again. Jones-Drew with a leap. And he looks like it's going to be very close to a first down. We'll see where his knee dropped down. Gary Brackett in on that stop. The captain of this Indianapolis defense. Boy, Jack Del Rio, what a week it's been for this ball club. A lot of questions circulating in this area about Del Rio's future, Garrard's future. Jacksonville has showed up today. Jaguars have been sharp. They started out strong. It's carrying through into the second half, and a chance to take the lead here in the fourth quarter. Huge play on 3rd and 1, and Garrard's got the first down. 3-yard pickup for Garrard, and this drive remains alive for Jacksonville.
Now it's really heads up by Garrard. Clint Sessons coming over the top on this quarterback sneak. He saw him bounce to the outside, picked up the first down. And, you talked about his future. Well, he could not have played a better game than he's playing so far today. And I got to take back the sacks that I gave Robert Mathis a moment ago. Garrard has not been sacked this afternoon by the Colts' great defensive rush.
And now a huge key, Dan. Can Jacksonville work the clock? Not allow Peyton Manning to have time to operate late in this game. Maurice Jones-Drew driving forward inside the 10. Buffet there defensively.
But the focus cannot be on the clock. The focus has got to be on getting a touchdown. If you settle for a field goal right now, that man, not that man, the guy before, Peyton Manning, will go down the field and get a touchdown. If he goes down the field and gets a touchdown, when you've got a touchdown in hand, you played overtime. But you cannot be thinking about the clock at this moment. Indy has all 3 of their timeouts, as do the Jaguars. Touchdown is most important for Jacksonville.
2nd and 8 for the Jaguars. Jones in front of Jones-Drew. Fake the handoff. Garrard looking. Releasing. Greg Jones brought down inside the 5. Gary Brackett ranging over to make the play defensively for Indianapolis.
He's going to come up about 1.5 yards short of the first down. Really good play call here by Dirk Cutter, offensive coordinator. Here's Jones, the fullback right here. As he sneaks out of the backfield, makes the catch cleanly. Good tackle there by Brackett, keeps him out of the end zone.
But as you mentioned, Dan, they can still get a first down if they can bring it inside the 1. They take the touchdown, though, right now with 2:15 to play. Movement. Freeney pointing in Jacksonville's direction. Jaguars complaining. It's going to work against Jacksonville.
Offense number 66. A 5-yard penalty. Remains 3rd down.
Justin Smiley, the left guard, the 7-year veteran, called on the penalty.
Let's check out Smiley right here. He flinched a couple of times. The flinch that counted came a little bit later.
So now a 3rd and 7 for the Jaguars. 2:13 to play. 4 receivers set. Garrard out of the gun. Tied at 21. Garrard steps, throws, touchdown! Maurice Jones-Drew! Jacksonville goes in front.
Maurice Jones-Drew got his first rushing touchdown of the season in the first half. This is his first touchdown reception, and this one is huge. Catches it at about the 3, and there's no doubt he's going to lower that shoulder on Bethea, his good friend. Jacksonville goes 57 yards in 9 plays and gets the 7-point lead.
Scobie the extra point, 28-21. Jacksonville leading Indianapolis, just over 2 minutes to play.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Subway. Subway has you covered with $5 footlong subs morning, noon, and night. Subway, eat fresh. And by Sony.
Rejoining here in Northeast Florida on the banks of the St. Johns River, Jacksonville 28, Indianapolis 21, 9 plays, 57 yards. Maurice Jones-Drew with a rushing touchdown and a receiving touchdown today. Justin Tryon, the return man for Indianapolis. Tryon takes it out of the end zone. Tryon to the outside, and a spin move out across the 35-yard line for the Colts with 2:02 remaining in the fourth. It's a 40-yard return.
Here's Mercedes Lewis. Watch as he clears out. Jones-Drew going to come in right behind him. And remember the similar play when Garrard hit Mercedes Lewis for the touchdown in the third quarter. Same play, same result, different receiver.
On the heels of their worst home loss in franchise history, they fell to Philadelphia by 25 points last week. Jacksonville, 2 minutes and 2 seconds away from a huge win over Indianapolis. Can Peyton Manning lead the Colts back? Manning on first down, throws, lunging try there by White. It's incomplete. And we've hit the 2-minute warning. Rasheed Mathis with the coverage. 1:57 to play in Jacksonville. 28-21, Jacksonville leading Indianapolis with 1:57 to play in the fourth quarter. Colts have all 3 timeouts to work with, and they've got a 2nd and 10 at the 35-yard line. Colts down by 7. Manning throwing up in the air, intercepted. David Jones lost the football, and it's ruled incomplete. Reggie Wayne, the intended target. David Jones had it in the breadbasket.
Yeah, this is real close to being an interception. Great reaction by Jones. He's bobbling it all the way down. Great call by the officials. Never had complete possession of this ball. Oh, that's heartbreaking for Jones and the Jaguar fans. Wow.
3rd and 10. They just gave Peyton Manning another chance.
Manning asking for more time on the play clock. We'll see if we get a delay of game call here.
So the play clock was at 0. Ron Winter sorting it out.
The play clock was not operable after the previous play. We will start the running for play. Please set the clock at 25 seconds.
A little home cooking there.
Reset the play clock. Manning with 1:51 to play. 3rd and 10. Manning steps up. Manning throws too high for Dallas Clark. It's 4th down with 1:46 remaining on the clock.
Manning has had a fantastic day, but his last 3 passes, first one was a little bit late, well defended. His second one should have been intercepted, and that one as far off.
Fourth down. This crowd is deafening. Manning throws, open man, Dallas is Clark. He's got a first down out across midfield into Jacksonville territory. You give Peyton Manning 4 shots. You know he's going to convert on at least one of them. It's 16 yards through the air.
Well, he's completed 31 of 43.
And he's now over 300 on the day, down to 1:23 and counting left. Manning standing tall in the pocket. Deep ball, Reggie Wayne, and caught from behind by Jones. Jones saved the touchdown, but Wayne worked himself free. And Manning just passed John Elway for 3rd all-time in passing yards in NFL history.
And how about the protection? Steps up into the calm part of the pocket, lets it rip. And how can Reggie Wayne get behind the secondary?
Indy looking to tie this one up.
A career-high 15th reception for Reggie Wayne. Check out David Jones here. He is looking in the backfield at Peyton Manning. A crucial mistake by Jones. Just a very casual go route by Reggie Wayne. Nothing fancy, but a defensive back peeking in on Manning pays for it.
Injury to Jones. He heads to the sideline. Jacksonville has charged a timeout. The former starter at the cornerback position is Derek Cox, who's now stepped in. Reggie Wayne, in addition to the new career-high receptions, new career-high yards, 196. Peyton Manning passes John Elway, now at 51,492 career passing yards. And it's a 1st and goal for Indianapolis at the Jacksonville 7.
And the way Manning's going, he'll reach 70,000 right after Brett Favre does. He might even get 80,000. I might double cover that guy.
Jacksonville leads by 7. 1:07 to play. Colts with a 1st and goal at the 7-yard line. Long count for Manning. Manning throwing, end zone, loops it, and too far for Austin Collie. It's incomplete with 1:02 remaining. William Middleton with the coverage for Jacksonville.
Boy, and Collie had Middleton too to the corner. Manning just throws this about 2 yards too far. Watch the ball coming right at you. And Collie just far enough where he couldn't even lay out and make an attempt at making that catch.
David Garrard has played mistake-free football. Will Jacksonville get the win here is the question. 2nd and goal. David Jones returns, replacing Derek Cox. Manning on a handoff. Joseph Adai bursting through the middle. He gets banged towards the goal line. And he's just short of the touchdown.
Joseph Adai on the carry.
Anthony Smith has made some great plays in this ball game. Adai gets real close to breaking the plane. In fact, they ought to review this. Well, this official right up here, he came in looking like he was going to signal touchdown. This might be worth reviewing. His knee is down. That's a good call. He is short of the plane when his knee touched down.
So the correct call made on the field. It will be 3rd and goal for Indianapolis.
But Anthony Smith had the tackle in the backfield on Adai, and he missed the tackle. Adai made him miss and got close to the getting it all the way into the end zone.
Ron Winter will take a look at it, but we've seen it. It was clear. Joseph Adai, his knee was down, and the ball will be spotted just inside the 1.
Yeah, you got to give some credit there to Charlie Johnson. He got just enough of Anthony Smith to where the tackle was going to be difficult to make. But there is the knee. It is down, and the ball is not across the plane.
Kirk Morrison at the bottom of that pile was holding on for dear life. And he helped save a touchdown. Not officially, Ron Winter has to see it for himself, but we've seen now enough angles to know that Adai was indeed down. It was the correct call on the field.
It may just be delaying the inevitable.
Looks like Jim Caldwell's squad will face a 3rd and goal inside the 1. It's a booth review with Jacksonville leading it 28-21, 52 seconds remaining in this 4th quarter.
You know, Manning looks horrible on 3 passes, and then it throws a strike on 4th down. And then, for some reason, David Jones lets Reggie Wayne stroll down the sideline for that huge pass play that brought the ball inside the 10-yard line. And then, but you got to go back to when David Jones had his hands on a Manning interception attempt there and couldn't bring it in.
That could have been good night right there.
Well, you know, he's wearing new gloves. All these gloves are brand new. These are the pink gloves that they're wearing. A lot of the players are wearing. You wonder if that had any effect on Jones not being able to reel that ball in. I mean, this is as close as you're going to get to getting one off of Peyton Manning.
Ron Winter taking a look at the Adai running play. 12 of the 18 meetings between Indianapolis and Jacksonville have been decided by 7 points or less, including each of the last 5. Now here's Winter for the announcement. Jacksonville clinging to a 7-point lead with 52 seconds remaining on the clock.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. The runner was down by contact, short of the goal line. Makes it 3rd down. Jacksonville is taking a second team timeout.
Smart use of the timeout by Jack Del Rio. Gives his defensive line a chance to catch their breath. And watch the linebackers now. And 3rd down. Colts only have 2 chances now to get in the end zone. If the Jaguars ever have had a goal line stand, this would be a good time to have another one.
Indianapolis is lined up right against the goal line. 3rd and goal for the Colts. 28-21. Jaguars in front. Shotgun for Manning. Moving pocket. Manning throws. Touchdown! Indianapolis an extra point away from making this one even late in the 4th quarter. Austin Collie with the score.
Just a kind of a little rub play, a little pick play. Wayne comes inside, and that's enough to force Alexander over the top of both Wayne and the defensive back on that side, and that's all 18 needs to find 17 to get 7.
Adam Vinatieri on for the extra point. 8 plays, 65 yards. And we are tied at 28.
Flag.
Flag thrown at the 2-yard line. Far side of the field.
The offsides against the Jaguars.
Offside. Defense number 22 in the neutral zone at the snap. That 5-yard penalty will be assessed on the kickoff. The extra point is good.
Peyton Manning, 33 of 46, 352 yards, 2 touchdowns, and interception, which came off a deflection, his first pick of the season. And the Colts have tied this one up.
Now watch as Wayne comes to the inside. He brings the defensive back with him. That forces Alexander over the top. The quick out by Collie. And this is a legal play. No contact there and no contest for the 6-pointer. That's the way the NFL is today. You're 3rd down, you got maybe 3 inches to go for the touchdown. You go into the shotgun and you throw another touchdown pass.
Is that the NFL or is that just Indianapolis?
Well, I think Indianapolis is leading the way when you got the greatest quarterback in the game today in Peyton Manning.
So Indianapolis and Peyton Manning, they've taken care of that part of the job. Now Jacksonville, 48 seconds remaining.
Only 1 timeout to work, and the strength of this Jaguar team is not in their deep passing game.
McAfee, who leads the NFL with 11 touchbacks coming into this game. Tyquan Underwood, the return man. He's going to take it out of the end zone for Jacksonville. Underwood Dragged out, he lost the football at the end of the play. It was already whistled dead. Pat Angerer with the play on special teams. Tonight on 60 Minutes, Bill and Melinda Gates are the richest couple in the world, and they're giving their fortune away. Find out where the money is going tonight on 60 Minutes, only CBS. Josh Scobie, career long of 53 yards. 2009 was a rough season for him. 18 of 28. He is 4 of 4 this season. First down for Jacksonville at the 23-yard line. They only have one timeout to work with, 42 seconds remaining. Running play. Maurice Jones-Drew through a hole across the 30-yard line. And they give him a gain of 8. Timeout.
Gain of 8 yards.
35 seconds left. Indianapolis has used a timeout.
Boy, that call on first down really puzzling. I mean, it sends such a negative message to your offense that you're not going for it. You're running a draw play. How many yards are you going to get out of a draw play? Not nearly enough with such little time left on the clock.
Then on the flip side, Indianapolis uses the timeout. Colts have 1 remaining. Jaguars have 1 remaining. We've got 36 seconds left.
Well, Jim Caldwell's saying, well, they're not going to use a timeout. We will. We might get the ball back after that conservative call on first down.
Discrepancy scoreboard here, and our official numbers, 2 timeouts remaining. And a 2nd and 2 for Jacksonville now. Shotgun formation for Garrard. Tied at 28. Garrard throwing. He had his man open. Underwood. It's incomplete. 3rd and 2 for the Jaguars. 33 seconds left. And Jim Caldwell thinking they've got a chance to get the football and win this thing in regulation.
Well, if this ball is on target, Underwood has a chance to get a couple yards, obviously get the first down, but more importantly, get out of bounds, stop the clock. Garrard's worst pass of the day.
Garrard now 15 of 19, 135 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. 3rd and 2. Huge play here for Jacksonville. Garrard throwing. High throw. It's handled by Underwood and a first down. Remains inbounds, 25 seconds. The clock ticking here in the 4th quarter.
Boy, they got to use a timeout here.
Garrard throwing sideline. It's Underwood again. And there's the gainer that they needed into Indianapolis territory with 11 seconds remaining. That's a 22-yard hookup.
Left foot down, right foot down. Good catch by Underwood. Now Scobie would be looking at a 59 to 60-yard field goal try. Del Rio told us yesterday that he would let him go from 65. This play is being reviewed. I'm not sure why, but because it was clear that Underwood had his left foot down when he caught the ball, and then his right foot well in bounds.
Second-year pro from Rutgers, Tyquan Underwood, and yes, Garrard put it where it had to be.
Got possession, secure, both feet in. Huge play for the Jaguars.
Now, to me, that looks like it's textbook. Into the body, 1 foot, 2 feet.
First down. And getting out of bounds stops the clock, so the Jaguars now, they can use the entire field. With 11 seconds to go, they can throw this ball to any part of the field, get a completion, call timeout immediately, and let Scobie do his thing.
Booth review to make sure that was a clean catch. Ron Winter.
After review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. It is a catch, inbounds, runner went out of bounds, first down.
They're at the 41-yard line of Indianapolis. There is nothing Peyton Manning can do about it now.
And if there's any wind at all, it would be at Scobie's back.
11 seconds remaining. Jacksonville still has a timeout. Garrard trying to avoid a big mistake, and he will throw it up for grabs, nearly intercepted. Kelvin Hayden Near disaster for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
The Colts come with an all-out blitz. That forces Garrard to fade in the pocket. And we've seen defensive backs now. First it was David Jones, and this is Kelvin Haywood. Do either of these defenses know how to catch the ball? There was the pressure on Garrard. He's looking. He knew that was a dangerous throw.
59-yard attempt. Indianapolis does have a timeout to work with here if they want to ice Josh Scobee.
There it is, too. Caldwell called timeout before the ball was snapped.
So the timeout taken by Indianapolis.
Timeout, Indianapolis.
Timeout Colts. For those of you expecting to see 60 minutes, you're watching the NFL on CBS. The game between the Colts and the Jaguars. Ian Eagle, Dan Fouts, the rest of our CBS crew. Indianapolis and Jacksonville tied at 28. 60 minutes will be seen immediately after the game, except on the West Coast, where it will be seen at its regularly scheduled time.
Josh Scobee with one of the strongest legs in the NFL. The determination on his face and the hope in the face of David Garrard.
He has never made this one from this distance, though. Career long of 53. 59-yard attempt. Podlesh will hold it. Jeremy Kane, the snapper. Jacksonville looking for the win. Scobee sweeps the leg. 59 yards away. He's got it. Jacksonville wins. 31-28. Scobee the hero. A 59-yard field goal. And the Jaguars knock off the Colts.
Scobee with the kick and then the victory lap.
What a finish. Jacksonville 31, Indianapolis 28.
Perfect snap, perfect hold, and everybody holding their breath until now.
The Jacksonville Jaguars. So many questions swirling around this city this week. What a bounce back for this team.
Oh, the chair of Dak Del Rio just cooled off, as did David Garrard's.
Peyton Manning and the Colts. They play tight ones against Jacksonville. Normally, Indianapolis has come out on the winner's side. This time, it's the Jaguars. A last-second kick at the gun. Scobee, 59 yards away. Final score, Jacksonville 31, Indianapolis 28. Tonight on CBS, 60 Minutes, The Amazing Race, and Undercover Boss. For Dan Fouts, the rest of our crew, this is Ian Eagle. So long from Jacksonville. This is the NFL on CBS.